Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends from all around the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at this point of time, here from Munich, in the House of the Bavarian Economy, to the 8th edition of the Munich Cyber Security Conference, again as a digital edition. I'm very proud and glad that I can open this conference here today. And in my short introduction word, let me briefly spend some context of the content and what we want to deliver in our conference here. And the motto of this conference is Drifting Clouds, and we want to provide some leadership perspective on the ever-growing threat of the cyber attacks. And Drifting Clouds actually stands for a lot of what happens in the world right now. If we take two levels up and see weather as part of our climate, I think we all know as human beings that we influence our climate. And we also know that only through cohesion and collective action of all nations around the world, we can influence that climate will not influence our planet too badly. If we take a level down and take weather conditions to the current political situation around the world, but also the security situation, then we can see really dark clouds and eventually some storm coming up. And also the same thing. It is only through strong diplomatic initiative and collective action that we can manage these security threats and also political threats and overcome them. And at the third part, clouds in the context of IT and cybersecurity, of course, have a different meaning. Cloud infrastructures are a very major part of today's IT infrastructure, of our data management, of our IT management. And in that context, we sometimes don't know whether clouds are part of the problem solving or part of the problem itself. And in this context, we have tried to build an agenda for you which actually addresses a couple of points. And we have 4 themes which we want to address. The first theme is how governments see cybersecurity and what they want to do about that. That's the first part. The second part is how we want to mitigate the challenges we have on the ever-growing attacks in the cyber world, and how to better anticipate that for the future. That's 2 themes. And we want to put a very special focus on the security of supply chains. What we have experienced during the COVID time is that the supply chain came very much under scrutiny. And we see from the crunch of the chip crisis and from many other materials that the supply chains are very vulnerable. So the security in supply chains are very important in order to safeguard a worldwide stability in many of the economies around the world. And around those, we have put a lot of competent panelists together to give us an input for the dialogue we need in order to solve the ever-growing cyber threats. And with these short words, I would like also to hand over to the very first speaker of today. And I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Margaritis Skinas, EU Commissioner and Vice President and responsible for the security in the Union. He's here for the second time. We are together here in the studio, so we have to make a proper handover, like in Corona times, right? So when I leave the microphone, Mr. Skinas will join, and the floor is yours. Thank you very much.